to get free health care for illegal immigrants, and we're going to reopen the government. And now we can have a real discussion about how to actually lower the cost of health care. Because make no mistake, the subsidies that Democrats want simply hide the failure of the Affordable Care Act. The Democrats aren't talking about cutting health care costs. They're just talking about hiding them. And so I'm excited the government will be reopened, and now we can have a much broader discussion about how do we actually tackle health care costs in this country.
Democrats have argued that at no point have they sought to provide health care for undocumented migrants with this deal. There is a dispute about whether asylum seekers qualify for certain benefits that they believe they do. The administration has said that they don't. But to be clear, the Kaiser Family Foundation found that 80% of all premium tax credits went to Obamacare enrollees in states that Trump won in 2024. That's 80% of all premium tax credits going to Obamacare enrollees in states, red states. If you don't extend them, do you see that as a political liability for your party moving forward into next year?
Well, no one's talking about extending the credits that were created when the program was created. This is one of the things that tries to get obscured. During COVID, Democrats said we need some emergency extra subsidies because we're in a COVID pandemic. And Democrats chose to have those subsidies end this year. Now, COVID has been over. And if Democrats want to have a debate over whether we're still in a COVID pandemic and whether COVID emergency subsidies should continue, they can have that. What Republicans are focused on is how we actually lower the cost of health care. And there is no Democrat that is pushing for that. All they want to do is hide the cost of the Unaffordable Care Act by borrowing money from our grandchildren to pay for health care today.
On the question of making health care more affordable, whether the subsidy started during COVID or not, it seems pretty clear that the cost of insurance premiums is going to go up. And notably, according to the Florida Office of Insurance Regulation, the weighted average premium increase for ACA enrollees in your state of Florida will be almost $220 per person per month. That is an increase of more than $2,600 a year. It is effectively going to price people out of these premiums, of these coverage plans. What is your message to those folks?
My message to those folks is that's happening anyway. All Democrats wanted to do was borrow $1 trillion from our kids and grandkids to hide those increases. They don't actually want to tackle that. They just want to hide it. And if we continue to do that, we will bankrupt the country. What we want to do is reopen the government, as Democrats are finally allowing us to do after 40 days, and then think about how do we actually reduce the cost of health care in this country. Republicans are up for that challenge, and we're going to deal with that once the government is open again.
I do want to ask you about this bipartisan Premium Tax Credit Extension Act. About 14 Democrats, 14 Republicans have signed on to this bill that would sort of create an extension to these ACA subsidies while eventually phasing them out. It's co-sponsored by Virginia Republican Jen Kiggans. Have you heard of this piece of legislation? Would you support it?
I haven't. But look, one of the issues that we have is that a large percentage of people that are now on zero premium COVID-era Obamacare plans don't even know that they're on them. 35% of people on one of these plans didn't even make a claim last year. These plans have been vehicles to enrich insurance companies, and that's why President Trump has said we need to bring this thing in for a landing. I don't want to hide the cost of the failed Obamacare plan. I want to reduce the cost of health care, and I think you're going to see Republicans tackle that once Democrats finally relent and allow us to reopen the government.
Congressman, I do want to pivot to a battle inside the conservative movement. You've exchanged some words with commentator Tucker Carlson after his recent interview with white nationalist Nick Fuentes. I want to play this for our viewers who may not be aware of what he has said about you.
We have a sitting member of Congress. I spoke to the Speaker of the House about this today. We have a sitting member of Congress from Florida called Randy Fine, who has literally texted or put on Twitter, we should kill them all. Every single one. Someone texted a picture of literally a dead baby, and he laughs at it. And it's like, this guy's a lawmaker who's appropriating money to a military committing genocide, and that's cool? It's not cool.
No.
And let's just be honest. That is much worse than anything Nick Fuentes has said, period.
What do you make of what Carlson told Megyn Kelly there?
Well, I think he's delusional. I could take an hour to dissect that, but in the short time we have, I would say this. I did say we should kill all Hamas terrorists, and I stand by that. And what I laughed at was a fake picture that was sent to me where people tried to claim that Israel was killing babies, but what they sent me was a 10-year-old photograph of a baby being killed in Syria by Muslims. The point was, if this was real, you wouldn't have to generate fake pictures. But what I would say is, even if all of the things that he claims I did were true, to say that is worse than someone who said the Holocaust didn't happen, that women should be raped, that makes the most horrific says the most horrific things about black people. When you will equate that and you'll say that's not that bad, we've got a real problem. I've said Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America, and I stand by that.
Do you believe that President Trump needs to give a more forceful condemnation of Nick Fuentes?
Well, I think President Trump has done that. Look, American Jews have had no greater friend than Donald Trump. I mean, everyone talks about how he's a friend to Israel, and he is. But what he has done to tackle anti-Semitism where it matters on our college campuses has been extraordinary, and I'm grateful for what he does every day. People need to remember this affects Donald Trump's family personally. He has a Jewish daughter, and he has Jewish grandchildren, and I know how seriously he takes it.
I've not personally seen President Trump unequivocally condemn Nick Fuentes recently. I did see the Vice President, J.D. Vance, suggest that these staffers among Republican congressional aides were making light of Hitler and making all sorts of comments, and the Vice President seemed apologetic about that, seeming to suggest that it was just kids, even though some of them were 30 years and older. I mean, do you not think that the administration needs to explicitly state where they stand on this?
Well, I think the administration has stated explicitly where they stand on it. And what the vice president was saying is we're focusing on young people, and young people do believe some dumb things when there are crazy things that active sitting members of Congress like Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib have said that no one seems to be bothered by. Look, anti-Semitism is a problem in the left widespread. It's becoming a problem on the right, and people like me need to speak out about it, and I'm going to continue to do that.
We have asked those members multiple questions about their views on Israel and anti-Semitism generally, just to point out that fact. Congressman Randy Fine, we have to leave the conversation there. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Still to come, how prosecutors say that two Major League pitchers rigged bets during games. The latest gambling scandal to hit pro sports. Next.
Ooh, stuffed up again?
So congested.
You need Sinex from Vicks.
Just Sinex? Breathe. What is... Wow.